Welcome to Life Words Day by Day, where we're studying 1 Corinthians 16 and this idea of generosity and how we can overflow. And in this chapter, Paul gives us a way in which we can overflow in generosity. And one of the ways is that we can meet needs with our pocketbooks. In the first 4 verses of chapter 16, Paul brings up a ministry need that he has previously made known to the Corinthian church at an earlier time. It concerns the collection for the saints. So what exactly is going on here? Do we have any more information as to whom this offering was for that Paul was going to collect? Well, we don't have any information from 1 Corinthians, but we can look at some other writings from Paul and get a pretty good idea. So the saints that are mentioned in 1 Corinthians 16 and 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9 are the same saints that are mentioned in Romans 15 and Acts 24. At some point in Paul's travels, he went to churches and asked them to take up an offering for these poor people who were in Jerusalem. But why do we need to take up an offering for people in Jerusalem? Were there not poor believers in Corinth that the church should be taking care of and ministering to? Well, yes, I'm sure there were. But there were several extenuating circumstances in Jerusalem that made this a special and extreme case. So, for instance, the city of Jerusalem was most likely an overpopulated city, since it was the religious hub of activity for the Jewish people. And you stack on that multiple times throughout the year, the city numbers would swell due to all the festivals they held for religious reasons. And in that particular day and time, even though it had taken place years before, that thousands of people had been added to the church in Jerusalem. Many of those people were from other areas of the Roman world who decided to stay in Jerusalem to be discipled. So the resources and the living conditions were constantly strained. History tells us that the city relied on gifts from non-resident Jews who lived throughout the Roman world. But not only the constant and the normal strain, but Jerusalem had been devastated by a severe famine that you can read about in Acts chapter 11, from which people had not fully recovered. And then on top of that, we know from Acts chapter 6 that there was a large number of widows that the church was looking after. And then you add on top of that, there was the persecution that was taking place in Jerusalem among the believers, as is reported in Acts chapter 8 and in the book of Hebrews. But this is the thing about Christianity. Our unity is not a unity of geography or of skin. Our unity is not in our political desires. Our unity is in Christ. In Christ, there is no Jew or Gentile or slave or free, for we are all one in Christ. And this offering would be a huge display of the unity under the unity of the church under Christ. And so the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we quick to display the unity of the church in the way that we give? As you pray today, please remember Angel Colon and his family, our missionaries in Louisiana. And also remember the Elway Life Word broadcast that's heard throughout Benin, Ghana, and Togo.